Hi there, Massy here, founder of the world's biggest gym and creator of the 30-day challenge, and welcome to this week's Friday 5. And I'm filming this from Bali. I'm actually sitting at my dining table, which is about that big. I'm sitting on a cushion. This is how we do it Bali style. So you might hear a few noises going past. Today I was going to talk about a fantastic book and a fantastic concept that a guy by the name of Reverend Will Bowen, came up with. You may have seen me wearing around this purple bracelet. And this purple bracelet is based on this concept by Will Bowen, and that's called a complaint-free world. So what he's decided to do is, he's with his congregation back in the States, and he's decided he's going to set a bit of a challenge for them. He's going to see if people can go for 21 consecutive days without criticising, complaining or gossiping. And the way he sort of tracks this or makes it a little bit more fun, he says, okay, we're going to wear a band on one hand. And as soon as you complain, criticise, gossip, you need to change hands and start from day one again. So we're trying to go for 21 days straight. Now he figured he was a pretty easygoing sort of guy, pretty positive sort of guy. So he figured, yeah, this is no problems, this 21 days straight, no worries. So it takes him about 5 months to go 21 days straight without criticising, complaining and gossiping. And just looking at those three things, criticising. So criticising is you bringing your judgment upon others, and you may or may not be right based on what lessons you have or haven't had in life. So maybe you're not right when you criticise something. Complaining is you just adding extra weight to something. Byron Katie talks about in her great book, Loving What Is. There's reality, there's what happens. And you can just look at something and say, yes, this happened. Or you can complain and you can turn it into something so much more monstrous than it actually is. And the problem with doing that, that's cool, and that can be amusing on the outside for someone watching, but the bigger you create something, the more weight and the worse you make it feel for you is the worse it feels for you. So it's about building something up, complaining, turning something into something that it isn't. This weather is so bad, I can't believe how hot it is, and we've just had rain non-stop, and the more you build that up, the more you feel this, tightness and ickiness inside yourself. And the other thing is gossiping. So gossiping is talking about someone else, something else, building it up to being again something that it may not be. The biggest thing with gossiping is, one, it doesn't actually serve any purpose. It just keeps this negative flow of energy going. Big thing with gossiping, if you're not prepared to actually stand in front of the person that you're talking about and tell them exactly what you're saying when you're saying to someone else, and that's essentially gossiping. So if you're prepared to actually stand in front of someone and say this, well, stand in front of that person and say this rather than talking about them behind their back. Because you may actually again have the story wrong. You may think a particular thing, but maybe it's completely different to what you thought about. So you may have the situation all out of whack. So anyway, back to Will Bowen and his complaint-free world. So what he does is comes up with this band for complaint-free world. I've done the same thing. I've had this band on, and I started it about 18 months ago, I think. And now I just have it on there as a reminder. It took me about 5 or 6 months to get for 21 consecutive days without criticising, complaining or gossiping. Now I have the challenge of driving around on the roads in Bali on my motorbike, and if you've ever ridden around Asia on a motorbike, or car or whatever means of transport you're having, you know that there's cars cutting in, there's people sort of all over the place. It really is a bit of a mess on the roads. So every time that you're driving along and someone sort of cuts in and you swear or curse or get agitated or whatever, you're complaining about what is. This is Asia. I was just watching a video the other night, Blood Diamond, with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he says about TIA, and TIA stands for This is Africa, and he's exactly the same, use the same acronyms, This is Asia. This is what it is. So I can complain and get really agitated, angry about what it is, but it is what it is. So I either accept it or I get extremely frustrated, or I leave. Those are sort of my choices there. So here I am, I sort of challenge you. One, if you get the opportunity, have a read of his book. It's called A Complaint-Free World by William Bowen. Or you can actually look up the website, www.acomplaintfreeworld, all one word, .org, and check that out. And give yourself the challenge and see how you go 21 days straight without that. I remember reading examples of businesses doing that. It was like a complaint-free Monday. And they were saying it just changed the energy of the workspace. If people couldn't complain, if they couldn't gossip, if they couldn't criticise, it actually brought a new level of positive energy into the workplace. So that was a really positive thing. So there you go. My Friday 5 is encouraging you, whether you read the book or don't read the book, but looking at addressing those 3 things in your life and removing those from your life. No criticising, no complaining, no gossiping, and you'll find that your life will just settle down a little bit more and it'll just get a little bit more fun, and the motorbikes are just staying up outside and it's always 5 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up here. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. All the very best. Have a great weekend and take care.